I think we're ready. We got a little bit screwy last minute. I just really wanted to get. I think we're ready. Yeah. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the WDMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Got some good news for you today if you're into direct marketing. Okay, let's get over to the fun stuff. First of all, I wanted to mention that we sent out an email, boom, 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 that we're having a virtual meetup. And even I can remember the time and date because it's 2/22/22 at 2. And there you go. And if you really want the fastest way to sign up, and you've ever subscribed to the WDMA, you probably got an email yesterday afternoon, and it says the details, and you just click the button, boop, and it says, see you there. And we will be sending a follow-up with all the links and everything on the 22nd or so. And you won't get any more emails from us about it because you've already signed up. This is the Style Consultant's new program, and she's more than just a pretty face, in case you've been to a meetup and met her. And it's really slick. Nothing. No, don't you hate when you go on some kind of webinar or something and you've been on you like them and you've been there a couple of times, and all of a sudden you have to put in your email again, you have to put in your name and your company and your zip code and all the other stuff. Nope, not anymore. Whoop, boom. And so, but if you don't know about the WDMA, then you can still go over to wdma.org, and there'll be a button in the upper right, and you can sign up that way, and that works. Okay, well, let's get to the fun. Here we go.
So how far do you think GM's Ultium EVs can go?
180 miles.
More? 300 miles?
1 million miles?
1 million miles. Dr. Evil. Get it? Dr. EV. Ill. Everybody in. So EV is for everybody in. Evil. I don't know how they get the L out of it. Get the L out of here. Anyway, so if you want a coal-powered car or natural gas, then you can get electric. And just think about the claims, right? And they never did say how far it goes. I don't know. But, imagine everybody's fleeing a hurricane from Miami and you can't even get to the border and you can't recharge your car. You know what? You're going to just leave it by the side of the road. But anyway, with a full tank of gas, I can get up to about Kentucky. Because that's how far my car goes on a full tank of gas. Anyway, and plus there's a gas station at every exit. So, they're not all going to be out. Anyway, so GM is trying to convince you that that's going to save the planet. Never mind the lithium. We just gave up on Afghanistan, which is the #1 source of lithium. So good luck. Good luck. And the plants love CO2, by the way. And happy to engage in climate change because I'm not just about a pretty face about direct marketing. But, not going to share any misinformation here. And never mind, the power grid is only 50% effective. So if electric cars are 80% efficient, cut that in half, 40% at best. And there's also, so the fuel conversion, you got to turn the fuel into electric power, which is, I think, about 60% efficient. So knock that down another, to 25% efficient at best. Anyway, let's get into the rest of the news. I had to kind of figure out, I have to say, what they're trying to get at, because that was just a mystery, whether that was even a commercial or not. And so they're bringing back Austin Powers as Dr. Eve Ill. And what I liked the best was this spot will run, it's developed by McCann Detroit. This spot will run during the third quarter of the match. And I thought that was funny because we don't call a football game a match, but, cricket they do. Anyway, so here's another good question by Allison Lundy. She says, why aren't this year's Super Bowl ads shoppable? A great question. She says every preview and none of the previews and none of the full commercials, which I've now sampled, they show how they make their lives easier. I did see one from Uber Eats, and they're trying to make them interesting and understandable, although the GM one is completely not understandable. But where's the shoppable content? Last year, Doritos introduced a new flavor, and the hot spicy cheese, and every second of the ad, you could put your phone up and you could get a QR code link. It would go to get a free sample of the new Doritos flavor, and it was a huge hit. It was I don't know if I'm allowed to say. Well, anyway, I got to see it and reprise it and see the results and in a secret way. And, everybody thought it was great. Maybe it didn't work. I don't know. But anyway, more content should be doing double duty. I heartily agree. If you can, take me somewhere, give me an offer, track that result, and especially if you can split test it. And that's one of the problems with the Super Bowl. But you might be able to split test it in a smaller venue earlier. Okay, here's a nice one from Ari Ginsberg. Is direct mail offensive? And he says, the last few years when I've been writing about direct mail, I was kind of defensive. But he said, I'd say it's still valuable. We reach markets that are less digital, and there's less competition in the mailbox, so direct mail is stronger. But he said, I was mainly just trying to, say don't forget about direct mail. Now, he said, he saw a revolutionary article about direct mail. He doesn't mention what the article was. I would have liked that, Ari. The oversaturation of digital marketing, where 75% of consumers report being overwhelmed by the number of ads they see daily. And we talked about this yesterday. You see about 120, you get about 120 emails. You probably get about double or triple that in banner ads and border ads. And yet you only get them a piece or two of direct mail. So, plus, the article goes on to say 72% of consumers feel positive about receiving direct mail. I certainly do. Got some today, got some health information news. And that's not all. This percentage gets higher the younger the consumers are, where 77% of Gen X feel positive about direct mail, because it's part of growing up and stuff. And it's special. Right? And so that was an excellent article, which will be available on WDMA. If you're a subscriber, which is free, just go over to WDMA.org and you can get a copy of all the show notes every day. Here's an interesting and surprising one. John Fetterman, who's he was the lieutenant governor of Pennsylvania, but now it turns out he's running for senator, I think. And he had already built, the Democratic Senate primary. He'd already built an online small donor money machine that was legendary, according to invalidatemsn.com. Actually, it was in the Philadelphia Inquirer, where it was originally, but it did show up in MSN. He had a repeat donor model pioneered by Bernie Sanders. So a lot of little contributions, a lot of people, like 140,000 individual donors. Pretty good. He last week showed that he'd received about 2 million in unitemized direct donations that weren't made online. And so most of them, they say, came from mail. Cash and checks that donors are mailed directly to the campaign. And having the money means he can do more direct mail. He spent about $1 million last year doing fundraising mailers and got back about 2.5 in the mail. 250% ROI. How about that? Okay, and so, and I don't know anything about this guy, but he's got individual donors, 140,000. The next closest, man, oh man, the next closest was getting a little bit more money per donation, but only 22,000. Wow, like 1/7, 1/6. Anyway, and most of those donations came from out of state, so they can't vote for him. This Fetterman got 59% from out of state, but this Malcolm got 79% from out of state. Okay, so that's enough. The point is, direct mail works. So if you want to hear more about direct mail and direct marketing, get over to wdma.org. Click the button, register, you'll get the information. The follow-up email is got the wrong date on it, but everything else is right, and there's a button to add it to your calendar, which is working. So the best is just to put it on your own calendar, and we'll see you there. I got a call this week, I think it was Monday, from the owner of a small retail chain in Chicago. And he said, I keep hearing about mail. And he said, I know you're the mail guy. Let's do some mail. So we're going to launch that off shortly. And I really appreciated the call. He's one of my favorite people. He's Inc. Entrepreneur of the Year or something. He's got a great book. It's behind me on the bookshelf. I think it's up there. It's up there. I just used to have it. I used to have it open, so we can't see it right now. But it's up there, right by Dilbert. We'll see that right there. It's right in there someplace. His book. So anyway, we'll keep you posted a little bit on that. Of course, we're not going to share anything confidential. But mail works, and I've already got in my head about 3 or 4 things. In fact, just in the 5 minutes on the phone, it was like, oh yeah. I got thousands and thousands of those we could do. It's like, yeah, I know. We're going to make you a fortune. You should have called a few years ago. But anyway, be that as it may, it's ready to go, and mail works. And here's the most important part. I can send him to a printer to get his mail done. That's not the point. The point is that we're going to have statistically valid testing. We're going to keep in mind the number of pieces, and it's not a million pieces where you could do, dozens of matrixed segments. No, it's going to be appropriate to the confidence interval that we're looking for. And that's the part that's still missing in mail. Almost nobody's doing really solid, valid testing. I can't find it. The point I have looped around just a minute ago was that I was a judge for the Echo Awards, and I was shocked at how few mailers entered, and I was even more shocked at how few of the results sections had what I'd call even rudimentary split testing or a holdout or a control sample. Without a control sample, you don't really know the impact of anything you're doing. So run your Super Bowl ad on the playoffs next year. Run one ad in some markets with a response device, a QR code, an offer, tag it on. Run the others without. Check the sales in the market. See which one does better. You can do both. Anyway, not get into all that. Have a great day. Like and share. Your friends will know you're smart. Bye-bye. And I got to wait a little. The style consultant says I got to take a sip of coffee or else you don't hear the ending.